Hello, everyone, and welcome to SNJ Today Hotline. Jim Quinn along with Scott D'Antonio. And Scott has a painting, decoration, remodeling contractor company, but he also does a lot for the community. We're going to talk about that, much more, right after these messages. Welcome back to SNJ Today Hotline. Jim Quinn along with Scott D'Antonio. Scott, good to see you. How are you?
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Scott, it's interesting, before we went on the air, we were talking about all the things that you do as far as business. Tell us what your business provides services for people. What can you do?
Well, we do a lot of what we call transformations and home upgrades, from painting to carpentry to drywall to tile, pressure washing, staining, interior, exterior. We do a lot of finish work. And we've been around, this is our 21st year in the tri-state area. We have great clientele. We great company. We're more like a family. It's more like a mom and pop operation. Although we've been climbing the ladder ever since.
Now, how many employees do you have?
7 employees presently.
That's pretty good. And especially,
pretty good.
Have you seen a difference from 2008 when the bubble burst till today in the economy for contracting?
Our company was probably twice the size at that time, pre-recession. There was a lot of work at the Jersey Shore as well as here. We felt it. We felt it first at the shore, maybe right. 07, 08, that area. Yeah. And then it hit in our residential areas that we work. But we were affected, but thank God we're still around. But things are slowly coming back a little more. People are putting money back into their homes. They've realized reality is what it is. Things are the way they are, and they're getting accustomed to that. But more people are staying put, and they're putting money back into their homes. Now,
you're in the Cherry Hill area, or Marlton is where you live now, right?
Yes.
How that area seems to be coming back up pretty quickly, isn't it? More or less Camden County.
It is. We do a lot of work in Morristown, Mount Laurel, Cherry Hill, Marlton, Voorhees, those surrounding areas there. It's a great area. I'm very thankful to live in a nice area. And we have a lot of clientele in there. And again, more and more people are putting money back into their homes, whether people are moving in or they're selling. But, everybody takes pride in home ownership. And I think more people, they want to replenish their homes if they are staying, or maybe their children are moving back in. So it's worked out for everybody, especially, for us as well.
Well, it is interesting. The millennials, a lot of them have to move back after college with their parents because, Scott, it's interesting. I'm not so sure. I know you have children, right?
Yes.
And I'm not so sure our children are going to be as well off as we were during our, careers as things are. Hopefully your kids will be involved with your business. Do you have some involved with the business?
Well, my older son, he got involved a little bit, but it may not be for him. I have 3 boys. If they'd like to, that's great. I do have the business. I try to teach them, but I want them to choose their own path and decide what they want to do. But I'll have it here should they decide to take this route.
What got you interested in home improvements and things that you did?
Well, I kind of tripped over it.
Okay.
I'm a musician, 30 years, so I'm very creative, thank God. And I started doing faux finish, which was very hot, late 80s, early 90s. I was able to simulate marble, granite, and stone with paint.
Wow.
I did a lot of restaurants, and I carved my niche, so to speak, with that. And then I graduated into doing everything we do now, but I was very fortunate to work in nice homes. And people ask me, hey, do you do this? Do you do that? Do you do carpentry? We started doing that more and more, and I build that up. I tell everybody, I take each step on the ladder is each rung of moving forward. I don't bite off more than I can chew. Once I know what we're doing, we plant our feet and we move on to the next home improvement, so to speak, aspect. But we've been climbing ever since. I'm very fortunate.
We're talking with Scott D'Antonio, who has his own painting, decorating, remodeling, contracting business. We're going to talk a little bit about his music career. Then we're going to talk about what he gives back to the community, which is quite a bit. We'll do that right after these messages. Welcome back to SNJ Today Hotline. Jim Quinn along with Scott D'Antonio, who is a contractor in South Jersey. And before we talk about your giving back to the community, which is a wonderful thing, with your music career, what did you play? Did you sing, or what did you do in the music? 1985,
I started in music and acting. I loved both. I wanted to be in entertainment. I always found myself writing on everything. I always did. I always used to tap and beat on everything growing up, and my parents and brother and sister got a little tired of that. So I'm a drummer, but I play a little bit of every instrument. But my thing is I like getting my words out. I always wrote, even as a little boy.
Oh, that's neat.
So I had a band, and we had a record deal in 1989. Our record didn't come out. We got into some legal issues, and I found out the business side of music. But I still continue to play every now and then. We always did our own music. I just have that creativity and love of creating, which I like to do. And one of the biggest satisfactions for me, then we'll get to the charity work that we do, is watching people respond over what I create. When we had kids singing our songs and writing to us, and I was fortunate enough to get mail from different parts of the world for our band because I marketed our band in the 80s. But it wasn't meant to be. The music was probably not my path. So I'm able to do what I do now as a contractor, still use my creativity with marketing ourselves and try to be creative and help people with everything that I could help them with. So everything has worked out the way it's supposed to work out, I guess.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're very verbal. You got a great personality.
Thank you.
Did you do acting too at all?
I started. Acting and music went hand in hand. My mother was in the business, so to speak. She was a makeup artist, and my mom had her feet wet in the entertainment business. But I like being animated. Maybe it's my Italian.
I could be.
With my hands.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, it comes out of me. But I'm always creating something. No matter what it is. I used to make my own games as a kid. The creativity is my thing. That seems to be what I do, and that's how I express myself. I just let everything out.
That's a great talent to have in it.
Thank you.
And well, it's funny because even with my business, it was difficult to make a living in radio. I always tell this story, and I'm sure you can understand this. When I had a college degree, and luckily I was teaching school, but I always wanted to do radio. So I taught during the day, did radio at nighttime. When I went for the first job, I found out I got it was minimum wage. Radio is minimum wage, and it still doesn't pay much more than minimum wage. And in the small market especially. So in order to make a living, I had to sort of transition from being an on-air personality to selling advertising, and then got enough money that I could make a living. My mother, especially, she wanted to kill me when I got out of teaching into this business. Like, what are you, nuts? But for me, and being able to be creative is something. It's a neat talent. I mean, I have some, not the creativity you have. Tell you what's interesting. Do you sing, obviously, besides the drums?
I did. I sang backups, and I worked with my singer when we wrote the songs. Right. But I still sing. I don't know who wants to hear me at this point. My kids don't want to hear me. But I love to sing. I sing in my car all the time. And I always wondered, should I have been the singer? Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah. But the reason I ask is it's interesting. Our CFO here at SNJ today is a very talented young man who sings in the musicals and acts. And I've always thought maybe I could act, but I can't carry a tune in a bucket. But I've always been impressed with people that can sing and be part of a musical. And you probably could have done that too if you wanted to.
I'm not sure, but I know it takes a lot to get up there. I always appreciate people that perform. It really is a lot to get, especially be a solo artist. I had the drum kit in front of me, but that takes a lot. And I have respect for everybody who does that. That's a lot. Yeah. It is.
But it's fun, isn't it? Show
Absolutely.
Business. I mean, you could tell.
Loved it. I had the great, besides my children, performing on stage and watching the kids was, I can't even tell you, incredible.
Well, speaking of incredible, tell everybody some of the great things you do to help people. If you need help, this is a man who gives back to the community. And what got you into this idea? Why did you want to become a person who gave back so much to the community?
Well, my plan was when I was little, I wanted to make it in music or acting, that it became the music. And I figured if I do really well in music and make it big, I'll have all the means to do charity work. I can set up charities for people who don't have money, maybe people that are ill. I'll be the guy that can help them, which is very important to me. The music didn't pan out. Not too long ago, when our business, I've been established for all this time now, I said, there's got to be a way I can be helping more people. So I came up with this handyman helper for a day, so to speak, and it's geared towards special needs families, although we've done charity work for pediatric cancer, breast cancer, MS, Purple Hearts, anything worthwhile, any type of illness people may have. And we offer a day of service for anything that we do. It could be drywall, carpentry, tile, pressure washing, whatever it is. We bring one of our supervisors to their house. and do whatever they need. Home or business. Everybody needs work at their home. We'll also have raffles or drawings that also help people. Natalie Simmons is our marketing director. She's exceptional with finding more charities that we need to work with, and we hope to do more. We try to do at least one a month. We're trying to work with the Phillies now and the Eagles. We've worked with Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, Home Depot, Lowe's. We were on the Today Show. We were very fortunate enough to do that,
that's neat.
Which was in the spring. So we're getting more and more. We're trying to do more. And partner up with CHOP and some of these bigger organizations. That's my greatest achievement so far, besides everything else I've done, is to help people. And this is the opportunity with my business that I'm getting, and we're really trying to do more.
You know, we were talking earlier about growing up Catholic, and of course, you know, we talked about being altar boys and things like that. But I think, and I'm sure you did too, and you went to Catholic high school for a while as well, you know, you learn through the Catholic Church to give back to the community and to do good things. And this is a great thing that you're doing, Scott. We're talking with Scott D'Antonio, who has his own business, painting, decorating, remodeling contractor, who passes it along and helps people in the community. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Welcome back to SNJ Today Hotline. Jim Quinn along with Scott D'Antonio, who has his own contracting company, does painting and remodeling and decorations and all that kind of stuff. But Scott, it is wonderful. My heavens, so you do a dozen projects a year for charity?
We'd like to do more.
Wow.
We try to average once a month. It may vary. We'll do as many as we can. We're able to. You know, I'm not a large contractor, but we have a large heart.
Well, and thank God you do, to your credit. And I think it's wonderful. And of course, people, you know, if you have, I can think of somebody like maybe a friend of mine who has MS, who maybe eventually is going to need a ramp to get into the house once they're into
Just built one.
Did you do that?
Yes, we did.
Wow, that's really nice, you know. And as you mentioned, I can think of like a lady I know who's probably in her early 60s who's struggling because she needs a roof on the house and she doesn't really have the money to do things like that. Now that gets pretty expensive. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, I try to keep it as a day of labor.
Right.
Because unfortunately we can't accommodate everybody, although I did have Dubell Lumber did supply the ramp that we built, which was very nice of them.
Yeah.
So again, we're reaching out to more retailers. Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore, two of my paint suppliers, they'll donate the paint.
That's nice.
And we're trying to do larger projects. So I'm trying to get everybody involved. I have a golf pro where my son takes golf lessons. I have other people in different professions, trying to get everybody in so we can get everybody to help, everybody to chip in.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. Like you said, when you get Dubell Lumber and the paint companies and stuff to give you the product, because you're giving labor. And what is just out of curiosity, if I were to hire you to come in and do some custom woodworking in my home, not just materials, what's the labor cost now? $50 an hour?
Well, about that. A skilled carpenter is probably a little more, 60 to 65.
So what I'm saying is, if you're looking at, say, just 60 for an easy number to figure, and you got 8-hour day, you got $480 of one man, the donation is there. Now, do you have more than one? Does your crew go in, or how do you work it?
Yeah, I usually put one of our supervisors. That's somebody who's qualified, who's been in the business 20, 25, 30 years. So you're getting somebody who's very knowledgeable, clean, conscientious, somebody who really knows what they're doing. It's more than 8 hours when I send one of our guys. They get like 10 or 12. And I love doing that.
That's fantastic. Yeah. It really is. What's one of the most satisfying jobs that you've done recently for charity? To help people?
Well, I'll tell you what we did recently. The Today Show we did for Christine and Jaden, sweet lady and little boy. We worked at their house. We went back and did some more work. We just remodeled some bathrooms at her place of business. So I guess everything comes back.
Yeah.
But I sent a basket to her, because Jaden was a little ill, of cookies and so forth, something small, flowers. My wife helped me. Christine called me up. She said, that made her day. I said, no problem. I said, it was small. I said, but I thought you would like the cookies. She said, you brought 2 smiles on our faces today, and that was enormous for me. That's one of the small things, even though it's small. Yeah. But there's so much more I'd like to do. And I tell Natalie, again, our marketing director, it's never enough for me. I feel like I can do more. So we want to keep doing more. So if anybody can get us involved with these larger entities like CHOP, or I keep bringing CHOP up.
Right.
We'd like to do more and help more people. And I'll try to get more people involved so we have more people helping everybody. It only takes a little bit of time and effort. And I think everybody can donate the time.
And of course, Scott's talking about Children's Hospital of Pennsylvania,
Yes.
which is fabulous, Philadelphia, whatever it may be. My youngest son had some physical difficulties, and that was where we had to take him all the time to CHOP, and just a great hospital.
We would love to work with them. We've been trying. I know they get a lot of people that want to help them, and I understand. But we're going to keep trying to get in and help best we can.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about the raffles. How do you go about that? Where do people buy tickets or online?
Well, what we have is we'll find out, or Natalie or myself will find out where the charity is, and we offer. We'll have a coupon that says a day of service. And it'll be. I'll have our website. It'll show everything we do, and it could be a raffle to raise money for someone who has MS.
Okay.
So we'll have our little coupon up there.
Right.
Other people may have baskets.
Gotcha.
We also work for the. My wife does the volunteer. Natalie, what's the name of? Jersey State Animal Rescue.
Oh, okay.
Where my wife works. My wife's going to shoot me for forgetting that. She does a lot of work for animals and welfare and so forth. So they'll have baskets for people to donate on, and then we'll have our coupon, our day of service. And like I said, everybody needs something done at their home.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They'll raffle for that. They'll win. I call them up. What do you need?
Wow.
We send our guy. We got it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, yeah.
I got you. Yeah. It's sort of the Chinese auction thing where they go around and put tickets in the baskets and hope that your ticket gets pulled out for whatever. And in this case, what a fantastic deal where you'll come out and do whatever they need that's done at the home as well. Now, let me ask you something. When you grew up, you certainly are a very benevolent, giving person. I guess mom and dad must have been pretty good people to get you into this mode. Huh?
I am so lucky to have two terrific parents that are still here.
That's great.
My mother, love my father, love my mother. My mother is one of a kind, and I'm going to show her this.
She's the makeup artist, right?
She is.
Did your makeup for you today?
My mother did President Trump's makeup, Mike Tyson, Jonathan Winters, Joan Rivers, did them all. Worked for NFL Films and HBO.
Oh, wow.
So my mom's been around.
Oh, that's neat.
My mom's very creative, very talented, very giving. I got a lot from my mom, as well as my father.
Yeah.
But my mother is an angel here on earth. She really is. She's a special lady.
Well,
so very
blessed
lucky.
There.
Very lucky.
That is wonderful. I figured somebody had to be there raising this little Scotty and making him a big man, making him a happy person who's giving back to the community and being able to do that. So it's really something when you're able to give. And I mean, to do this 12 times a year, I know it's got to cost you because your people aren't necessarily volunteering their time. You are. Right. But, that's a wonderful thing that you've been. And you know what? I got to believe, though, like pay it forward or whatever you want to call it, that it comes back to you in business, I hope, and success. So it's something that I'm sure God blesses you back with some good business success, especially in the tough times that we had.
I think so, but I don't look at it as I want something back.
No, I understand.
Right.
That. No,
if it comes back, it comes back. Yeah. I'll just say to myself, I need to do more business so I can help more people.
Right.
And that's my approach with everything. But it makes me feel great that I'm helping people and I'm able to help people. And, again, I hope I could help more. I don't want any business out of it. If we get business out of it, that's great. Right. If we don't, that's fine. I'll just go out and I'll get more work.
Yeah. And I guess your website is www.sjdspecialty.com?
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
So you know where to go to find out all the great things Scott does for you. And we'll be back with Scott D'Antonio, painting, decorating, remodeling contractor, who is a very benevolent person. We'll be back with Scott in just a moment. Welcome back to SNJ Today Hotline. Jim Quinn along with Scott D'Antonio, painting, decorating, remodeling contractor. And Scott, spring is coming. Tell us about the specials you got going on.
Spring is here. I'm not happy with the Groundhog's prediction of 6 more weeks. That's another story. But we do have 6 more weeks. We have spring things, which we call getting your house, ready for the spring and the summer. Exterior-wise, pressure washing, replacing any rotted wood should have been rotted. Painting, of course. We clean everything up. We can pressure wash your house, your walk-up, your driveway, of course, painting and carpentry. We do that as well. Then we move on to the inside. But it's around the corner. You want to keep your house clean. You want to have nice curb appeal, nice front door, shutters. We install, we paint, we do all that. And like I said, any pictures people would like to see of what people in your neighborhood are doing, how they're fixing up their homes, we're on every social media, our website, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, we're on all that. And we have so many pictures to choose from that can give you ideas of what you need to do to your home, or again, what other people are doing in your neighborhood.
And boy, you know, home, everyone I think realizes your home is your biggest investment.
Sure.
No matter what. And nowadays people are keeping their home longer rather than flipping and moving to a upscale or whatever the home is set up. So it is important because every dollar you put into your home comes back to you because it's making the home more valuable. And certainly, as you talked about curb appeal, how important that is to be able to do that. And you could do everything from power washing to painting to carpentry inside, outside, whatever needs to be done. One thing we talked, do you do roofing?
We
siding?
don't.
Okay.
We don't do roofing. We don't do structural, but we do a lot of finish work.
Right.
But I have a couple people that I would recommend if there's a service that we don't provide.
And you mentioned you're still working down the shore a lot.
We are.
I was telling Scott, I had a house in Sea Isle, and I used to see his trucks down there, and you were doing a lot of work in the Sea Isle area. Do you know Lenny Desiderio, the mayor? I'll introduce you to him.
I was going to say, maybe you should introduce him.
I will. He's a great guy. He really is. He's a super person.
That's great. We like nice people.
Yeah. So you're all over South Jersey, anywhere?
We are. We're down the shore. We go to Philly. I don't go too far out the suburbs in Philly. I did a lot of work in the main line years ago, but thank God we're so busy in the Marlton surrounding area as well as the shore that we can kind of stay in our own neighborhood, so to speak.
Scott, thank you, buddy.
Thank you. It's a
Thanks
pleasure.
for
Thank
all you
you
do.
very
It's
much.
great to have you on with us,
appreciate it.
and thank you for giving back to the community
Thanks
and all the
again.
help that you do for people. Scott D'Antonio has been our guest today, painting, decorating, remodeling. Go on his website, www.sjdspecialty.com. And for Scott, I'm Jim Quinn. Thank you for joining us today on SNJ Today Hotline. We'll see you tomorrow on Channel 22 at 6 o'clock and 11:30 p.m. And this show repeats again at 6 a.m. the next morning. And, of course, you can hear us on WSNJ 99.9 FM at 7:30 each evening, Monday through Thursday. So thank you again for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night. Bye-bye.